on Denver 7 News. Denver's air quality downgraded. As you head outside this weekend, the new announcement from the EPA and how it could affect what you pay at the pump. Only 2 days left for the world to pay its final respects to Queen Elizabeth II before she's laid to rest on Monday. The preparations underway for her funeral this weekend. And your Denver Broncos coming home tomorrow to take on the Houston Texans at Empower Field. From the players on the field to prices for fans in the stands and the food that's for sale, we've got a full preview of the first home game of the regular season.
Good morning and welcome to Denver 7 News. I'm Jessica Crawford.
And I'm Katie LaSalle. Thank you so much for joining us this Saturday. We want to start by catching you up on some of the things happening this weekend.
And the names of the nearly 470 fallen firefighters will be added to the Firefighter Memorial in Colorado Springs this weekend. Volunteers expect 8,000 people, including firefighters from across the U.S. and Canada, to attend the ceremony today. This is the first time that it's being held since the start of the pandemic. So this is the first time that the ceremony will include firefighters who died in the line of duty over the past 2 years. The ceremony starts at 10:30 this morning in Memorial Park.
The 8th Judicial District, which includes Larimer and Jackson counties, along with the Fort Collins Municipal Court, is holding an event today to clear some Coloradans of any outstanding warrants for their arrest. You don't even have to go to the courthouse. This event is at the Old Town Library in Fort Collins from 9:30 until 2. There, people can clear warrants for some misdemeanors, traffic cases, drug charges, and some felonies.
With inflation and prices on everything going up, trying to keep growing kids in clothes and shoes is not an easy thing to do, but there is a place that can help. The Just Between Friends sale runs through tomorrow at the Douglas County Fairgrounds with a record number of people selling items on consignment.
And let's take a look outside for you right now at 6:58 on this Saturday morning. Another beautiful start to our day. It's going to be a little bit warmer across the metro area this afternoon with daytime highs gradually climbing to the low 80s. But a little bit of a chill in the air this morning. We're in the 50s here over the metro area, and we are picking up a little moisture into some of our northern mountains. Right now, though, it's dry and mid to upper 50s over much of the metro area. Relative humidity at 64% with a little bit of shower activity going on right now just north of Estes Park, and you can see indicated by the shade of blue, a little light snow has been falling over about 13,000 feet at our highest mountain peaks. Temperatures outside currently were in the high 40s over Centennial into Littleton, low 50s into Firestone, Erie, and Boulder. If you're out this morning, you may want the extra layer, a light sweatshirt or a jacket, but by this afternoon, it's going to feel really pleasant. 11 o'clock getting to 72 degrees, mid 70s by lunchtime, and daytime highs in the low 80s, 60s and 70s into many of our mountain towns. Also, we're starting to see some of the leaves change out to our west. We'll talk more about the next best chance for moisture and your full Broncos game day forecast for tomorrow coming up.
Been feeling that chill these past couple mornings, Katie. Thank you. Whether you just moved here or if you've lived in Colorado your entire life, you've seen the smog surrounding the mile-high city. But now Denver and Colorado's Northern Front Range are being labeled severe violators of air quality standards by the EPA. This reclassification means stricter air quality regulations are coming to the Centennial State. Denver 7's Christian Lopez is live with how this will impact your finances amid already record high prices right now. Christian?
And Jessica, as you just mentioned, this means stricter regulations for businesses and consumers to get those air pollution levels down. And it could also mean more expensive gas prices because the severe label would require drivers to pay for a special blend of gas, especially during the summer months. And this is gas that reduces harmful greenhouse gas emissions. Now, that would only be during those summer months when air quality tends to be at its worst. And AAA predicts that this would increase prices by 20 to 30 cents a gallon when drivers start using it in summer of 2024. Now, the state could try to get the EPA to grant an exception, but that's not guaranteed. Some of the things that the state plans to do to improve air quality are finding and implementing new technology to control those emissions. CDPHE also wants to create checkpoints to track the state's progress towards these goals. Now, the state still has a long way to go, and some people in the state are concerned because of all of those contributing factors.
I'm just worried because we have everything here. We have constructions, we had the I-70 highway, we have Purina, we have a lot of things going on that affect us.
Our current state implementation plan does include controls for a lot of different types of industrial facilities, particularly through what is known as our reasonably available control technology requirements.
And if you're wondering what you can do to do your part to help, you can go to our website, denver7.com. Live in Denver this morning, I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
The Arvada community coming together this week to honor fallen police officer Dylan Vaikov's life of service and sacrifice. Vaikov was shot and killed while responding to a call last Sunday. First responders and community members lined up along the procession route for his funeral yesterday to say their goodbyes. Officer Vaikov was an Air Force veteran and was proud to serve in the town that he grew up in. And his fellow officers described him as the embodiment of what law enforcement should strive to be: selfless and caring. Vaikov was just 27 years old.
And Arvada officer Dylan Vaikov's impact on his community is very clear. He was treasured by his fellow officers and those around him. Colleagues and loved ones giving the fallen officer one final send-off, sharing stories about Officer Vaikov's life and the person who he was. He was described as being thoughtful, with a tireless work ethic and having an extraordinary desire to protect people and make things right. The Arvada Police Chief Link Strait says Officer Vaikov treated every call as a priority, and his girlfriend, who is also an officer in the department, said there are no words to truly capture what he meant to everyone around him.
Our time we had will never be long enough, and I'm not sure how to continue on without you. But I will do it. I will do it for you. I will do it for myself. I will do it for everyone in this room. Because that's what it means to be a brother and sister in blue.
At the end of the service, the pastor read a letter from Officer Vaikov's mother. She said he always chose to see the good in the world, and she hopes everyone walks away from the service asking themselves, what would Dylan do? The period of public mourning winding down as London prepares for Queen Elizabeth II's funeral on Monday. People are still waiting in lines as long as 24 hours in London to pay their respects before she is laid to rest. Today, the Queen's grandchildren are following their parents, honoring the Queen by standing vigil over her coffin. ABC's Inez de la Cuetara joins us from London with more.
As mourners continue to pay their respects, those hoping to see the Queen must first stand in a queue. The queue starts here, more than 5 miles from Westminster Hall, where the Queen is lying in state. The queue growing and growing, wait times reaching close to 22 hours, even as temperatures dropped. So many people coming out, the queue even had to be put on pause for 8 hours, prompting reports a new line had formed to join the queue, a very British phenomenon.
That's what we're all used to now. We just queue.
I guess we've just been always brought up with it, I think. It's something that you do in England. So, yeah, we're used to it. We just continue, basically.
Those who brave the long wait times are coming prepared, bringing snacks and water, hundreds of porta potties set up along the route.
And, I mean, a 14-hour queue, does that not scare you at all?
Not really. It doesn't. I'm prepared.
But the queue moves continuously. Mourners are not allowed to set up tents or chairs. The BBC reporting more than 430 people were treated for injuries, 40 hospitalized. A bit further down, Cyrus Moore has also been with the line for hours, checking wristbands and cheering people on.
Wristbands in the air, please. Like you just don't care. Like you just don't care. They've been through a lot. 8 hours, 7 hours, 6, I don't know.
5 a.m. we started.
But they've dedicated themselves to be here. So if I can inspire them to do the last furlong, I've done my job.
This as the Queen's children, led by King Charles III, held a silent vigil on Friday, somberly watching over their mother's coffin. Meanwhile, preparations are underway for the Queen's funeral, guards rehearsing under the cover of darkness as law enforcement gears up for what some are calling the biggest security operation London has ever faced.
And tonight it'll be the Queen's grandchildren who will honor her by standing vigil beside her coffin. Inez de la Cuetara, ABC News, London.
Meantime, the annual Tour de Corgi in Fort Collins is honoring Queen Elizabeth this year. It will have a Best Queen Elizabeth and Corgis category. The Queen loved corgis and had dozens throughout her life, including 2 at the time of her death. Tour de Corgi is an annual corgi meetup. It's a costume contest and parade through Old Town Fort Collins. This year's event is Saturday, October 1st.
Gotta love corgis.
So cute.
Well, your Denver Broncos getting a shot at redemption tomorrow against the Texans after Monday's disappointing loss to the Seahawks.
And kickoff tomorrow is at 2:25. Our Broncos captain Justin Simmons, unfortunately, though, is out for at least 4 games with a quad injury. He told Broncos insider Troy Rank he heard it early in the second quarter against Seattle, but he will be back and better than ever, he says, when he returns. Our second-year safety, Caden Stearns, will step in. Also, Russell Wilson thinks that Monday's game is all part of the team's journey to success in the postseason.
The thing about great teams is they always respond. If you want to be a championship team, you got to respond. You realize you don't win it all in one day, one game. You know, you win it through a journey and a process, and you have to go through a little bit of adversity to get to the other side. You know, and that's just what it is. You know, if you want, you got to be able to have a little challenge and a little. You know, I always say adversity tolerance to be able to get to the other side of greatness and what that looks like.
And we will see them tomorrow on the field. Russell Wilson is also having an effect on more than just the team's strategy this year. He's also impacting the price of admissions to Broncos games this year, according to an online ticket website. The tickets have seen a 61% increase on the secondary market compared to just last year. One local ticket broker says wait until the week before the game to buy tickets, or even better,
as the game starts or just an hour or two before the game starts. Ticket prices could be below the face value and the best price.
That's one way to do it. One superfan gets even more affordable tickets on half-price ticket day. He also suggests signing up for fan clubs like the Broncos Quarterback Club. You may have to pay a membership fee, but says that it will pay off in the long run.
I like that phrase, adversity tolerance. We think we all need more of that. Well, good news is Denver police say they are seeing fewer scams since the Broncos tickets went digital, but scams do still happen. Taking a closer look on how you can keep your money safe, police say avoid biting tickets on Craigslist, especially when they ask for payment on sites like Venmo or Zelle before showing you proof of the actual ticket.
Good reminders. Well, Empower Field is going to be full of fans tomorrow for the game, and CDOT is making it a little easier to get there tomorrow.
So CDOT's busing service this week is from Fort Collins and Colorado Springs, and starting next week, CDOT is starting a pilot program with trips from Vail and Idaho Springs. The Bustang will drop off fans at Empower Field about 90 minutes before kickoff.
And a new season also means some new food for fans to enjoy.
Okay, that's my favorite thing. So we've got a sneak preview of the menu. Game day is going gourmet. So bring your appetite for a mile-high hot chicken sandwich, hot tots with chicken, a cheeseburger from Cherry Cricket. Those are award-winning, I saw outside the restaurant, and a plant-based meatball sub. But don't worry, your favorite comfort foods like nachos, fries, and chicken tenders aren't going anywhere.
Also, if you're thirsty, Aramark is trying to make that happen quicker with a virtual bartender that can mix any drink with 10 liquor options. You just have to scan a QR code and your ID, then take a quick selfie to prove that you are over 21.
Things get started at Empower Field early tomorrow morning. All parking lots open by 10 a.m. Main Street with family-friendly pregame activities. Well, that opens at 11:30. Gates to the stadium open by 12:30. Kickoff is at 2:25. A new warning for pilots flying in and out of DIA, which you should be aware of as a passenger along for the ride.
And fall may officially start next week, but people in Colorado are already starting to think winter. How 2 major resorts are preparing to welcome you back for ski season this year, plus how your children can make their mark on one city's snowplows.